Hi, Charmaine James, founder and CEO of Locsanity. Today I'm going to go through how to reattach extensions. So something that's very, very common, and one of the questions I've always heard time and time again from I started my lock journey is it cheating if I use lock extensions? Absolutely not. I grew my hair. I have bio locks, meaning that locks that I've grown myself out of my scalp. And even I, from time to time, do have to use extensions. Today we have my beautiful daughter, Alyssa. She's going to help me demonstrate how to reattach some locks that she's previously lost. So Alyssa has a handful of locks in the back of her hair that over time, for whatever reason, be it that they were stressed because perhaps they were dyed, maybe she wasn't moisturizing properly, for whatever reason, she's lost a few locks, a handful of locks in the back of her hair. So what we've done is we've actually had some locks custom made for her. So you'll see that Alyssa has bleached tips. And what I did was I had a custom color this is actually custom color number 30, which blends in very, very nicely to her locks. And these are locks that I had made just for her. My team went through and I told them exactly what size I needed, and they went through and actually created these locks, and that's going to be a beautiful match for us. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take these locks here that you see that are broken, and it's about what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's about 10 locks that I'm going to reattach. So, you know, even though Alyssa is someone that she grew out her locks naturally, she's having to use lock extensions to basically get her locks that have broken off and have been lost, to get them back so that they are all one length, instead of having, you know, different length locks, or, you know, even having to have to do something as drastic as, you know, cutting all of her locks so they're one length. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use just your regular rat tail comb. I'm going to loosen the bottom part of Alyssa's lock. And the reason why I'm loosening this part of the lock is that this is where I'm going to go through and I'm going to attach the lock extension that we've made for her. And if you watch some of my other videos, you'll actually see where I was making some of those locks for her. So now I'm going to take these. So these are some custom locks that I had made for her. These are color number 30, which most closely matches her hair color. You'll see, even though her hair is bleached, this actually comes very, very close to her hair color. And these are 0.2 centimeter, which is about 1/8 of an inch, or almost like the width of a phone charger cord. That's about the width of her locks. And so you'll see at the top, I have a little bit of loose hair on the lock, and I have now some loose hair on her lock that I've just taken out. And what I'm going to do is now I'm going to crochet the two. So I'm going to put one on top of the other, and I'm going to start crocheting them. The needle I'm going to use is going to be a Locsanity needle, and this needle is a 0.05. That's the size of this particular needle. And what I'm going to do, once I have the two locks, I have her lock and I have the new extension that I'm going to be repairing, I overlay the two of them there. So you'll see this is where her hair is, and this is where the new lock begins. And then I'm going to start crocheting them. Now, as I'm crocheting it, and I'm going to try to show you, what I'm doing is I'm going in and out of the lock. So I'm going in and out of her lock and in and out of the extension. And as I'm doing that, what it's doing is that it's taking the hairs from her extension, the hair from her lock that's up here and the extension, and it's putting them together and matting them down, almost like a fast forward of the locking process is what I'm doing. And when I put my finger over it, you can't see, but what I'm doing is I'm doing a turning side to side motion As I take it out, I'm rolling it and I'm going back into the lock. And so I'm just gonna go through and do this a few more times. And then as you can see, it's really starting to come together nicely. I do still have a bit of loose hair here that I'm going to try to incorporate as much as I can. The more hair that I do incorporate, the stronger the bond is going to be between the old lock, her bio lock, and the new lock extension. So I'm gonna go up a little bit more. Just wanna make sure I have a good, solid marriage between the two locks. And this really is a marriage because I don't want them to ever break up. There's no divorce happening between these babies. And as you see, I'm going in and out. And this is something that you do not want to rush. You really do want to make sure that you're taking your time and you're really going in and crocheting it very nicely, because the last thing you want is for it to come apart later. Now, once I'm comfortable that I've gone back and forth enough and that it's nice and solid, I'm going to then trim off any excess hairs. I'm going to go ahead and trim the excess hairs at an angle. That way it's not a blunt end. And I'm just, whatever loose hairs I have, I'm just gonna go back, crochet them in some more. And I'm going to go through and just continue doing this over and over again until I am absolutely sure the lock is completely matted down and secure. This does take a great deal of time. There is absolutely no question that this is one of the more time-consuming things that you have to do with maintaining locks. And so, you know, sometimes you'll hear locticians will charge, you know, a lot of money for them to reattach your lock or for them to do lock extensions. And the reason why is because it is a very, very timely process. It's a process that does require a great deal of experience. You know, as you're going through and you do it, the more you do it, the better you get. But it does take a great deal of time. So as I'm going through, I'd say on average, for each of these extensions that I'm going to have to do, it's going to probably take me about 10-15 minutes. And so if if you're considering you're doing a whole head, that's a lot of time that it's going to take for you to do all of those extensions. So there you have it. This is just one lock that I've done. And I am going to, once I'm finished, I'm going to trim. Oh, I don't even have to trim this one because it's the exact length. So I did actually have them made to a custom length. I did a length of 6 because when I went back and I measured, that is about how long the colored parts of her hair are. So here you have what happens when you do a lock extension. It's basically indistinguishable from the other locks. So I'm going to, of course, palm roll it. And one of the most important things that I am going to do after I do add the lock extensions, you want to make sure that you are braiding and banding for at least 12 weeks. The reason why it's so important for you to braid and band is by braiding and banding, what you're doing is that you're going to take those lock extensions, you're going to basically braid them through, and you're going to band at the bottom, and then you're going to wash the hair. The reason why you're doing that is because in the washing process, in the shampooing process, you don't want those newly matted hairs to separate. And so by braiding and banding, you're giving the hair time for it to truly mat down, for it to mature before you're starting to wash it. And so anytime you're having any lock extensions added to your hair, you definitely want to make sure you braid and band for at least 12 weeks. At the end of the day, what you want to remember is that it is a lot of work to put these lock extensions in, and so anything that you can do to make it so that they do last, they don't fall out, you definitely want to do that. So here you have one that I've done, once it's laid down with the rest of her locks, you cannot tell which one was the extension. It is absolutely indistinguishable. I know because I'm the one that actually did it, but no one else would be able to tell once it's in there. So I'll follow up and I'll show you all a picture of what it looks like once I go through and I do these others that are kind of hanging out there. And I'll let you know. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know what you think. If there's more videos like this that you all want to have from me, please just let me know. Love ya.